While being interviewed alongside the best actor, they asked about my dating history. I smiled. Never. He let out a cold laugh. Is dating me that embarrassing? The press was stunned. The trending lists exploded. I was speechless. 5, I'm a total no-name. To get some exposure, I joined a lifestyle reality show. On day 1, the director proposed an icebreaker. Call your best friend and invite them to the shoot, but have another guest impersonate you and see who gets caught last. Because I kept dragging my feet, afraid to steal the spotlight, I still hadn't invited anyone. By the time it was almost over, Jessica, grinning, handed me her phone. Isabel, you pretend to be me. Jessica is the current it girl, catapulted to fame by a smash hit drama with the best actor. This show revolves around her, too. As I took the phone, I asked, who am I inviting? She blinked playfully. I called Jason. I froze. Thanks to that runaway hit, the Jessica-Jason ship had skyrocketed, with fans yelling for them to just get married already. And she wasn't even trying to avoid suspicion she called Jason on the show. I didn't see that coming. Jack, who's chronically online, started to stir the pot. Hey, Jessica, what do you usually call the best actor? Jason? Jessica tucked a strand of hair shyly. I just call him Jason. Jack flashed a knowing grin and joked. With how close you two are, Isabel's gonna get exposed in seconds. Jessica giggled, half chiding. Not necessarily, he can be pretty careless. She looked like a girl calling her boyfriend, which set everyone laughing again. I was the only one who couldn't, because I knew I'd be recognized in seconds. But not necessarily because I was pretending to be Jessica. It's because Jason is my hapless ex of 6 years. He'd know me in a heartbeat. I glanced around, no one to appeal to, and someone at my level didn't dare make a fuss. Under everyone's nosy, eager stares, I nervously hit dial. The phone rang nearly a minute before he picked up. Jason's voice came through with a wash of static. Hello? Jessica? That voice, familiar yet strange, set my heart pounding with a bitter twist. With everyone urging me on, I forced myself to mimic Jessica's tone. Hey, Jason. The background noise on his end cut off at once. Jason went quiet. I pressed on, swallowing hard. I'm filming a show, do you want to come on? More silence. I almost thought he'd hung up before. A soft, derisive laugh came through. Isabel, having fun? Jessica and the others were stunned. Everyone figured Jason would realize I wasn't Jessica, but no one expected him to recognize me, Isabel, after just 2 lines. After all, in the public eye, he and I had almost never intersected. Jessica, bewildered, reached to take her phone back. Jason spoke again. You're filming, huh? A bad feeling spiked. I wanted him to stop, but there wasn't time. Fine, I'll come, he said, then hung up, leaving only the busy tone. Everyone reeled. Jason had never done reality TV. Directors and stars had all invited him. He always said no. And now that he knew who I was, he could have ignored me. But he agreed. Jessica stared. You two know each other? I handed her phone back. Awkward. Not really. Jack's gaze darted between me and Jessica. Sensing trouble, the director hurriedly cued the next segment. After we wrapped that day, Jessica told Jason the call had just been a game. I stood by, saying nothing. Better that way, less chance he'd think I had some other agenda. I didn't expect that for the next episode. Jason actually showed up as a guest star. The director hadn't imagined this would be Jason's first reality appearance. He scrambled overnight to line up media and hype. To maximize the buzz, they added a live segment during the shoot. Jason and I were supposed to be at opposite ends, but somehow we formed a circle and ended up side by side. His unfairly handsome face was within arm's reach. My heart was racing at $1.80. He looked perfectly composed, as if I didn't exist. We chatted for the cameras. Jason tossed in a line now and then. The topic drifted from habits to personality, to relationships, then to dating history. When it landed on me, I was still spacing out. What about you, Isabel? You're so cute. Any memorable dating stories? I froze. Dating history? I glanced at Jason. He lifted his hand just so, the back of it brushing my arm. However memorable, this was something he wouldn't want out there. Catching his offhand look, I quickly shook my head. Nope, I've never dated, the cast murmured, not buying it. Jason gave a cool, quiet snort and turned to me. What was dating me that shameful? He didn't speak loudly, but it carried perfectly around the circle. I watched the reporter behind the camera gape, the cast's eyes going wide. And then it hit me. This was live. Jason, seemingly oblivious, kept his gaze locked on me, hard and unyielding. My brain roared. I couldn't see the comments, but I didn't need to. I was about to get torn to shreds by his fans. Right as I braced to be cancelled and booted from showbiz, Jason's mouth tugged into a smile, and he tapped my shoulder with his fist. Ha! Did I scare you? I could see the smile didn't reach his eyes. Still, the actor in me snapped to, and I played along. I laughed a few times in a row. Who knew our best actor Jason has such variety show chops? The tense cast finally exhaled and started ribbing him. Jason's so funny, he should do variety more often. Right? The way he spins a bit is next level. Ha ha ha. Jason leaned back against the chair, offering nothing. Just that lazy smile. My heart was still thudding. After such a long secret relationship, the breakup should have stayed quiet too. But no such luck. Because it was live, that little exchange hit the internet and snowballed. Was dating me that embarrassing Jason, Jason X Isabel, Jason X girlfriend, dominated the top 3 trending searches. A good chunk of viewers refused to believe Jason was just riffing. Some thought I was riding his coattails. Are you blind? Who jokes with that kind of look? Seconded, I think best actor Jason meant it, even if his acting's always been top-notch. No way they ever dated, come on. Who even is this no-name? Clout chasing much? Get lost, flop. My JJ ship will never sink. During the break, I huddled in a corner, scrolling through comments, not sure how to describe what I was feeling. Jason's agent was whispering to him with a phone in hand, glancing my way now and then. Must have been about the trending topic. Jason looked totally unfazed, nodding casually. Until the director called for us to resume, I didn't exchange a single word with him. Not even eye contact. The farther I stayed from him, the better. Worked for me. But the second we started shooting again, I got paired with Jason. With the hot search blowing up, viewership for the live stream had jumped tenfold. To keep the buzz going, the director switched the whole episode to live broadcast, no room for edits now. The task this round was to team up in pairs and cook over an open fire within 10 minutes. Guests would taste and vote anonymously for the most delicious dish. Teams were decided by drawing lots. Jessica drew a blue ribbon, shot Jason a look, then quickly turned away in disappointment. When I saw Jason and I both holding yellow ribbons, dread washed over me. He, on the other hand, looked unsurprised. He tied his ribbon around his arm and walked over, tilting his head. Why are you zoning out, teammate? I snapped to attention and followed him into the kitchen area. But the kitchen has never been my turf. Then or now, I was always just the helper. Jason clearly remembered that too. He quickly checked the ingredients, picked out what he needed, and handed them to me. I automatically took them and started washing. Jason moved in behind me, casually rolling up my sleeves so they wouldn't get wet, then turned to grab a couple of eggs. We'd only been broken up 3 months, so the muscle memory was still there. I didn't even notice anything wrong. The live stream chat, though, went wild. What the hell is going on with this team? Aren't you just cooking? Jason, what are your hands doing? Does Isabel not have hands? Can't even roll up her own sleeves? Agreed. She's acting like a baby on a variety show. No wonder she's a nobody. Don't look here, Jessica, baby. Don't look, don't look. I finished washing the food and handed it to Jason, who was heating oil. As I leaned closer, a drop stung my eyelid. I jerked back, covering my eye in silence. Jason noticed right away. His brow furrowed sharply. Without a word, He grabbed my hand and pulled me to the sink. "Always this careless," he scolded, voice stern but touch gentle. He wet his finger and lightly dabbed the spot over my eyelid. "Still hurt?" I shook my head. Out the corner of my eye, I caught the cameraman edging closer. And were there more cameras pointing our way now? Not far off, the director looked thrilled. Meanwhile, the livestream comments had already exploded. "Are we sure this is live? Feels like I'm watching a rom-com. Looks like a cohabiting couple. Do you even hear yourselves? You can stand a rare ship, but not a cursed one. Actually, not even a rare one. Exactly! Only Jay. Jay is real." Jason and I ended up stealing the spotlight during the cooking challenge. Of course, me just being the assistant meant I was basking in his glow. The guests showered praise on his dishes. The balance of flavors, the way the seasonings complement each other, so refined. Whoever cooked this clearly studied seriously. Jason accepted the compliments with an easy nod. "Yeah, because my ex was super picky, so I took the time to learn." My stomach dropped. This man really couldn't keep his mouth shut. Sooner or later, he'd spill everything. Everyone burst out laughing. "Wow, Jason's such a sweetheart. His ex must have been so lucky." Jason just smiled and said evenly, "Not exactly. If she was really happy, why would she break up with me?" And with that, his eyes landed squarely on me. I jolted, ducking down to retie my shoelaces, praying no one noticed. The chat went nuts. He learned to cook for his picky girlfriend. What a dream boyfriend. And she dumped him? Criminal. I want to know who she is. Bet she regrets it big time. No way it's Isabel. I don't believe she ever had that kind of luck. You never know. Marking this for later receipts. Right on cue, Gossip King Jack asked. "So, the breakup was her idea?" Jason nodded, a shadow in his eyes. "Yeah. When she said it, I didn't believe her. But she really left." My knees just straightened, buckled again. I tugged loose my shoelaces and started retying. Tony, the singer guest beside me, leaned down curiously. "Sis, why do your laces come undone so easily?" I stared back blankly. Could I admit it was just to stay out of frame? "Nope," I muttered. Cheap quality." Everyone else was still huddled around Jason's gossip. I edged away, trying to melt into the background. But the director called through the megaphone. Isabel, stand with Jason. You're a team, don't drift so far." In a flash, every camera swiveled to me. I froze, caught mid-ostrich. The director just smiled at me, eyes twinkling. Way to set me up. At last, the next round of grouping arrived. Thank God I wasn't with Jason this time. My new partner was Tony, the rising pop singer. With his good looks and strong vocals, he had legions of fangirls and fanboys. He was cheerful and polite, calling me sis every other sentence. Jason got paired with Jessica. This wasn't a dating show, but for their CP fans it was close enough. This round was way harder than cooking. We had to catch chickens, round them up into the coop. The team that caught the most would win. But I'm terrified of chickens. To be exact, I'm scared of any animal with a beak. Tony noticed my hesitation and tilted his head. Sis, you can't do it? I pressed my lips together but didn't dare nod. I was afraid viewers would think I was being difficult. Tony didn't push, just patted his chest. Don't worry, sis. I got this. Not far away, Jason's eyes kept flicking toward me. Jessica nudged him. Jason, what are you spacing out for? We're supposed to catch chickens. The comments went wild. Ah, Jessica baby, acting coy, is so cute. Jason bro, stop pretending cool on the outside, but probably thrilled inside. Jay, forever, keep spamming it. Am I the only one who thinks best actor Jason keeps looking Isabel's way? Shut up. Yeah, it's just you. I followed behind Tony, trying hard to muster the courage to grab the flapping chicken. But halfway there, I missed. Sis, let me, Tony called. Knowing my limits, I obediently pulled back. Okay, when I'm hopeless, I choose to trust my teammate. Sure enough, Tony swiftly snatched a big hen and tossed it into the coop. He turned back and winked. See that, sis? Pretty good, right? Just then, Jason appeared out of nowhere. With both hands, he casually grabbed two roosters on either side of me and tossed them into his coop without so much as a blink. He even turned and shot me a lingering glare. I focused on working with Tony, not daring to think too much. Tony soon caught another, but that chicken fought hard, wriggling free again and again. Seeing Tony a little discouraged, I quickly comforted him. If even you can't hold it, it must be way too fierce. Don't worry, let's just switch to another one. Who knew Jason would suddenly roll up his sleeves? He bolted after the runaway chicken for what felt like miles, then strutted back, dangling it in front of us, before dropping it coolly into his coop. The comments trickled in. Why do I kinda ship this? Honestly, me too. I swear Jason looks jealous. Agreed, like a little boy sulking because Isabel praised Tony. That look Jason gave like a bitter wife. I'm dying. Once again, Jason took first place in the chicken chase. I don't know what got into him, but in 10 minutes he caught 28 chickens. Even the chickens wanted to flee at the sight of him. Jessica looked at him with stars in her eyes. Jason, you're amazing. Nothing can stop you. He gave a faint reply, his gaze drifting, landing right on me while I zoned out. I quickly looked away. The chat lit up. Why do I feel like Jay is done for? Jason's half-hearted vibe, my God, was all his charm, just acting. But did you see him look right at Isabel? Sorry, fam, but Jason's fake nonchalance while clearly staring at her count me in. I'm shipping Jay. Now. Jay, I ship her here too. Lock it down. Behind the monitors, the director's eyes lit up again. I could see him getting visibly excited, though I had no clue why. After the day's activities came the evening barbecue. Finally, no silly games, just grilling and eating. Tony volunteered to handle the grill. With Jason's certified cooking skills, of course he got pulled in too. Two handsome guys barbecuing was a sight to behold, from every angle. But I didn't dare look, just found a lounge chair and pretended to rest. Jason divided his grill into two sections, one big, one small. It was obvious the seasoning was different, and he flipped them at different rates. Jessica asked curiously, "Why'd you separate them?" Jason kept moving. "For picky eaters." Jessica blinked, then smiled. "You really are attentive." Jack enthusiastically brought the food over first, urging everyone to dig in. I stared at the platters, not knowing where to start. My stomach's delicate. I can't handle heavy flavors. I always need light seasoning. That's how I stay at 85 pounds. Noticing I wasn't eating, Jack offered me a skewer of fish. "Isabel, have some." I hesitated, just reaching out when a sudden voice cut in. "Wait." Jason set down a plate with much lighter colored barbecue right in front of me. "This is yours." Jack and I both froze. I never expected him to single me out in front of everyone. Was he trying to gift the tabloids a headline? While Jack gaped between us, Jason smiled. "Didn't you just tell me you wanted it lighter?" I caught on instantly and nodded quickly. "Ah, right, I did. Sorry. Thanks for going to the trouble, Jason." He simply said, "Don't mention it," and went back to grilling. The comments exploded again. "I've been glued to this live stream for 2 hours straight. I swear he never said that." Reporting in. Watched 4 hours, never once saw Isabel talk to him. "Jason, you liar. Making stuff up now." But hold up. Didn't he say his ex was super picky? Could it be they're actually... Isabel's always been low-key, never stealing the spotlight. I looked her up. No scandals. Just focused on acting. What a perfect sister-in-law type. I'm shipping it. Say no more. I've fallen deep. Jay, I ride or die. The games might have been rough, but the food was solid. Along with barbecue ingredients, there was plenty of alcohol and drinks. I poured myself a little fruit wine. Sipping slowly, the guests started chatting warmly. Each person shared their biggest regret. When it came to Jason, he looked nothing like the others. No sorrow, no sadness. He just tilted his head. For me, it's not really a regret. I'd call it more. A mistake. Jack immediately pressed. What? What? Is it about your ex? Jason nodded. Yeah. I choked on my wine, coughing so hard I couldn't breathe. Jason stood, poured a cup of hot water from the side table, and handed it to me before slowly continuing. Because our ending isn't set in stone, I'm not giving up, so I don't see it as regret. He paused, then added, but letting her go so rashly back then, I do regret that. The guests let out a collective sigh. To hide my awkwardness, I downed the fruit wine in one gulp. The afterburn hit me harder than I expected, and I shrank back unconsciously. Across from me, Jason frowned. Hearts started flooding the comments. Confirmed, detail obsessed me, as sure Isabel is Jason's ex. That glass of hot water was way too natural, married 10 years, and still wouldn't be that smooth. He loves her so much, admitting it so openly in front of everyone. I'm crying. Got an insider in the biz says they're getting back together next month. Trust me and join the J. I ship now. Or don't. And just send me $50 for Crazy Thursday. I really shouldn't have downed that wine. One cup and I was tipsy. Then I kept drinking more, getting dizzy and drunker by the minute. In the end, Jason pulled me away and flat out refused to let me drink anymore. When the shoot wrapped, everyone returned to their rooms. I stayed outside watching the moon for almost an hour before staggering back. As soon as I opened the door, I saw a shirtless guy inside. He covered his chest in shock when he saw me. Sis, what are you doing? I squinted at him, moving closer. High nose bridge, pale skin. Not bad looking, just kinda scrawny. The muscles weren't obvious. I thought about it as I poked him. He yelped again. Sis, don't! I tilted my head, poked his nose and drawled. Huh? What am I doing? Not to be mean, but you're decent looking. Just nowhere near as hot as my Jason. Add in that skinny frame, and you're even less of a match. So tell me, how exactly am I supposed to act? The guy threw on a shirt, practically in tears. Sis, how much did you drink? I waved him off, pressing a finger to my lips. Didn't drink. Don't you dare say otherwise. He groaned, covered his face, and after a long struggle, opened the door and left. I didn't care. I flopped onto the soft bed. Ah, so comfy. Soon, footsteps approached. Voices grew closer. Bro, you gotta get sis out of here. She's terrifying. Seriously. Feels like only you can handle her. Boo-hoo-hoo! I cracked my eyes open. Whoa, two handsome guys. The better-looking one's face seemed a little dark. The new guy came over and stared at me for a long time. Finally, he sighed and scooped me up in his arms. I think he muttered, if she's gonna stumble into the wrong room, why not mine? Something about it jolted me awake. I hugged myself protectively. Mister, you may be handsome, but have some decency. I'm a taken woman. His steps froze, his eyes suddenly sharp, like he might bite me. Oh, taken? Who exactly are you taken by? I rushed to explain. I have a boyfriend. He'll beat you up. His name's Jason, and as good-looking as you are, he's even hotter. His eyes are more. Then I faltered. Wait, you two look so alike. I reached up and touched his face. The curve of his nose, just like yours. His eyes, deep like yours. I traced the features carefully. Wow, even the shape of your lips is the same. His expression softened. Just a little. Are you sure he's your boyfriend? I had been tugging on his ear, but at those words, I broke down and bawled. Don't think you can just use your looks to rip open my wounds, sob sob. We're only on a break, only temporary. Sob sob. We'll get back together one day. We will. I poured out my feelings in a messy flood. Suddenly I heard him chuckle. Something warm and soft brushed my forehead. Then a familiar voice whispered in my ear, "We will. Soon." I drifted into a long dream. I dreamt of the day we broke up. Out of nowhere, Jason had suggested taking 2 years off to travel the world together. At that time, weighed down by life and family pressures, I was already on edge. I wanted so badly to keep up with him, but I couldn't. We were both in the industry, but my career struggles snapped my last thread of patience. "Jason, you're so young, and you already want a break? Don't think being best actor makes you untouchable. You haven't even got the Grand Slam yet, why relax now?" Jason was baffled by my sudden outburst. "What's wrong? I just want to spend some time with you." I argued with him instead. He tried to soothe me. "Then let's co-star in the next project. It might help your career." Back then, I cruelly thought he was patronizing me and flatly refused. I stubbornly declared we weren't aligned and broke up. Jason just stared blankly. "Isabel, what did you just say?" I repeated. "I said break up. We're breaking up. We can't even talk to each other." He didn't stop me, so I walked out without looking back. But I could never really leave our little home. No matter how I tried, the door wouldn't budge. Frustrated, I turned to ask Jason to open it, only to see him on the sofa, silently crying. Tears streamed down his face unchecked. He stared at the door, abandoned, like a stray puppy. I panicked instantly, dropped my suitcase, and rushed to hug him, only to clutch at empty air. His figure slowly faded from my arms. I jolted awake. My forehead was slick with cold sweat, my head pounding. Outside, I heard noise and chatter. That's when I remembered I was still filming. I forced myself up and went downstairs. There was Jason, chatting warmly with the director. I couldn't help but wonder, why was the guest star still here? The director, seeing we were all gathered, grinned and picked up his megaphone. "Everyone's here? Great! Yesterday's live stream was a smash hit, so today we're doing it again. Keep the energy up." I was stunned. So, the show was still live. The director said it brought in views. Couldn't let it go. I had no right to object, so I quietly went to the table for breakfast. Tony was drinking soy milk, and when he saw me, he quickly set down his bowl and whispered my name. With half a pancake in my mouth, I mumbled, "What?" He looked like a weight had lifted off his shoulders. "Oh, thank God, sis. You're finally back to normal." His words left me baffled. What? Was I ever not normal? He looked like he'd stumbled onto some huge secret. Lips sealed. "Don't even get me started. You are really not normal." A bad feeling crept over me. I pressed him until he finally spilled. "It's not much. Just that you kinda came on to me, then complained I wasn't as ripped or as handsome as best actor Jason." I let out a long breath of relief. At least it wasn't Jason I'd thrown myself at. That was something. Remembering I'd woken up in my own room, I quickly apologized. Sorry. I really troubled you last night. My tolerance is awful. Sorry again." Tony drained the last sip of soy milk, set down his bowl, and waved. "Troubled me? Nah. I handed you over to Jason. He's the one you should apologize to." His 2 sentences fried my brain. I stared at him in disbelief. He looked completely sincere, not like he was lying. Suddenly, fragments of last night crashed back. I froze on the spot and glanced over at Jason in the distance. No way. No way. Did I act out in front of Jason? After a long inner struggle, before the show went live, I finally managed to pull Jason aside into the small courtyard. I had to know if I'd crossed a line. My heart wouldn't rest until I asked. Jason followed quietly as I tugged him into the corner. I stammered. Last night, nothing happened, right?" Jason blinked. "What exactly do you mean?" I forced myself on. "I mean, I think I drank too much. I didn't do anything to you, did I?" Jason propped his chin, thinking. "Nothing much." Relief started to wash over me until he went on. "You just cried and apologized. Said you'd been too stubborn. Oh, and that you liked me. Really liked me." Jason tilted his head, pretending to recall. What else was it? Just imagining it made me want to die of shame. I cut him off. Okay, I get it. Can you just pretend it never happened? I dropped my gaze, not daring to meet his eyes, waiting in silence. It felt like forever before I heard a long sigh. Then Jason's deep voice said clearly, "No, of course." I knew he wouldn't forgive so easily, or let me off the hook. Just as I was about to cry, he gently cupped my face. After finally getting back together with my adorable girlfriend, you want me to act like it didn't happen? Not a chance. I blinked in shock. Huh? Jason hooked my nose with his finger. Silly. Even if you were drunk, I still answered you seriously. We got back together last night. Don't even try to deny it. It took me ages to process. At last I accepted the truth. Fleeting memories flickered in my mind. I leaned into his chest and muttered, "I'm sorry." He wrapped me tight. With me, you never need to apologize. Be stubborn if you want, but you can't leave me. I nodded. He steadied me by the shoulders, and no more talk of breaking up. I nodded again. He pulled me even closer. Our love doesn't end in a breakup. What neither of us knew was that a small camera had been fixed in the courtyard. And because we stayed there so long, the live stream had already started. Every move we made was broadcast nationwide in full HD. Even without audio, the comments exploded. "Ah, it's real, it's real. Mom, I've made it." Look at Jason's eyes, so full of love help. I'm dead. I'm literally dead. I've officially moved into their love nest. Jason, don't be stingy. Feed us more dog food. Jay, I ship his endgame. Bed ending. Bed ending. Afterward, seeing the director smirking non-stop, I asked why. He covered his mouth, laughing his head off. I knew you two were a thing. I even bet the assistant director you'd become the hottest couple. I just won 50 grand. Ha ha ha. I looked over at the assistant director. Sure enough, he was scowling, the total opposite of the director's glee. Thanks to our J.I. ship, the director had found the secret to traffic. As we wrapped, he invited us to join a couple's queue, a live stream. Jason agreed instantly. The QA was timed to perfection. 13 minutes, 14 seconds, not a second more. I had to admit the director knew how to milk it. In that segment, almost every fan question got answered. Jason, you've always avoided reality shows. Why agree to be a guest this time? Jason looked exasperated. Come on. Before it was just business partners inviting me. This time, my wife asked. How could I say no? Comments. Holy crap. Someone moved the marriage registry here already so they can wed on the spot. Fans are curious. Jason, why don't you try to keep things low-key? Jason looked even more exasperated. Think about it. Why am I here? I came to chase my wife. If she runs, what's the point of hiding it? Comments. Ha 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 ha. I'm losing it. Why is best actor Jason this adorable off-screen? Please do a couple's reality show. I'll gladly eat all your dog food. Since you two have been together all along, why was there never any sign of it before? I scratched my head, embarrassed. Actually, he wanted to go public. I didn't. I was afraid people would only see me as Jason's girlfriend, not Isabel. Comments. So clear-headed and career-driven, sis. I stan. Wait, so it was best actor Jason who wanted to go public but got rejected? Why do I find that hilarious? Poor puppy! He just wanted a title. Sis, give him one. I can totally picture Jason pitifully begging to go public. I can't stop laughing. Jason caught sight of the scrolling comments and immediately lost his composure. He leaned straight into the camera. I already have a title now. Ha! Go ahead and be jealous. What was that? Give me back my aloof best actor Jason. The J.I. ship's trending topic shot up before everyone's eyes, while the JJ ship collapsed so hard even its moderator bailed. A chunk of fans were heartbroken, ranting all over social media. Others dug up that all the so-called sweet evidence of J. Jay had been Jessica's deliberate hype, from the pet names to the staged interactions. Once the details were examined, it was clear Jason never once responded. Suddenly, the platforms were full of outrage. Damn it! I'm sick to my stomach. I shipped them so sincerely, Jessica. Don't you feel any shame? Honestly, without Jay, who would even know Jessica? She only blew up because of that ship. And now it turns out it was all self-directed? Poor best actor Jason. She leached him dry. Everyone owes Isabel an apology. Jessica was the clout chaser all along. Never trusting a CP without an official announcement again. Thanks. Maybe unable to take the backlash, Jessica posted on Weibo. I've always respected and admired Jason. I just want to do my job. Never meant to ride on him. It only made things worse. Sis, did you forget your Jason darling phase? How come he's suddenly Mr. Jason now? Lol, before the reveal he's just Jason. After the reveal he's Mr. Jason. You switch faces faster than Sichuan opera. Leaning against Jason's chest, I watched the circus unfold. He had always made his stance against fake ships clear. With Jessica's hype, though, he'd chosen to turn a blind eye, which only made fans go crazier. I read aloud some of the old shipping comments in a mocking tone. Best actor Jason's never had a scandal. This has to be real. Jason pulled me tight, burying his head in my neck like an ostrich. Wrong. Back then you didn't want me. I was really hurt. I just wanted to see if you'd get jealous. If you'd realize you still cared. But you didn't care at all. I was wrong. But you were heartless too. Boo-hoo! His voice trailed softer and softer until I could barely hear. His hot breath on my neck tickled and prickled. I gave him a little push. Jason pouted. You're even pushing me away! Looking at his pitiful face, I stifled a laugh, leaned in, and bit his lip. Here's your compensation. Want it? He blinked at me, processed for 2 seconds, then flipped me under him, arms tight, a sly grin on his face. If you say no, you're a puppy. Figures, savage as hell, what puppy act? On the last day of filming, Jason picked me up in his van. Someone snapped us snuggling together and posted it with the caption, First candy drop of the new year. Jay, I ship is the best investment. Shares broke 10,000 in minutes. Jason and I were tagged everywhere. Jason, you sap! Caught in 4K as a love-struck fool. Ah, don't move. I'm bringing the marriage registry right here. Daily question. When's the wedding? When's the wedding? When? Buried in Jason's arms, I listened to him read out the fans' crazy love letters. We'd hidden our relationship so carefully, afraid it might hurt our careers. Who knew modern fans would accept us so easily, and even lead the charge in shipping us? For the first time, Jason and I could love openly. But reality had other plans. Soon after our romance went public, an indie film I'd starred in last year got a festival nomination. My acting was finally being taken seriously. The top comment read, "The industry really buries too many good actors." With my craft recognized, plus the variety show exposure, I quickly received several solid scripts. My life went straight into a whirlwind of filming. Jason, with more free time, started whining, finding excuses to visit my sets, but I barely had time for him. On a rare trip home, he pitifully showed me his search history. Wife too obsessed with work, what to do, how to make a career-driven woman, notice her husband. If my wife doesn't come home for 3 months, does that mean she doesn't love me? How to keep love alive when it fades? How can a man become more attractive to his wife? I burst out laughing like a goose. Jason rolled over and pinned me down, fuming. You wicked woman! I've become a stone waiting for my wife. And you laugh? Just wait. I'll make sure you're the one crying later. I just stared at him, speechless. In our 8th year together, Jason and I finally got married. He was so thrilled he spammed over a dozen Weibo posts. Fans told him to look in the mirror at how cheap he looked. He scoffed. So what? Cheap or not, I still got my wife. Doesn't matter, huh? In our 2nd year of marriage, we had a daughter. Jason acted like he'd lost his mind, whispering to her every night, Baby, don't be like Mommy. Care for others more. Don't turn into an emotionless work machine. Our 2-week-old blinked blankly, not understanding a word. I suspected he was throwing shade at me, so I smacked him hard. He wailed, "Wife, don't abuse me!" Me. "And they call you best actor?" Great, he even made our daughter cry. He had to soothe her himself, rocking her gently like a pro, then looking smug as if waiting for praise. I lay back on the bed, quiet in my thoughts. If life keeps going like this, it's perfect. The moonlight's gentle, and so are you.